I have a thing that I say, pay me now or pay me later, and you'll understand what I mean by the end of this video. So I've been using the RED Komodo X now for several months, and I put it through some real production shoots. I want to share with you guys my experience and let you know if everything that you've heard about this camera has been all hype. The RED Komodo X is the successor to the RED Komodo. This updated model has a ton of new features that make what was already a popular camera even better. I'll quickly touch on some of its standout features. For example, the new Komodo X does not utilize any of those Canon batteries. Instead, it adopted this new micro V-lock system that is far superior and more robust than the original Komodo. Another big upgrade is in the media department. The Komodo X uses CF Express Type B as opposed to CFast, which was on the original Komodo, which means higher capacity cards, faster read and write speeds, which obviously helps when you're offloading footage. The Komodo X also has an upgraded RF mount, which allows you to lock your lenses or RF mounts into place, making it more secure, which I think is a nice update. But perhaps one of the biggest improvements, in my opinion, is the support for DSMC3 accessories like their touch displays. And I've always been a fan of how RED interfaces their cameras with their touch monitors. Having no cables is just one less thing to malfunction, not to mention, it looks way cleaner too. But it's not just the exterior that received new features. The sensor and software have also been updated. The Komodo X still utilizes a 6K Super 35 global shutter sensor, but it's been overhauled for better performance, including in low light, and also enhanced for better dynamic range. The autofocus is also better. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I did not test out the autofocus. For one, I don't own any RF lenses, and also every project that I worked on required manual focusing, but I do know friends who own the original Komodo and have got the new Komodo X, and they've told me that the Komodo X, the autofocus is much better than the original Komodo, so take that with a grain of salt. Now, what I enjoyed the most about this camera is its form factor and modularity, which I think is what made the original Komodo very attractive. Like, for example, one moment we have it rigged for handheld shots, the next it's on a gimbal ready to go, or if we want, we can strip it down to bare bones, mount it on a car rig, and this is the type of modularity that I appreciate in a camera like this, especially for production work. As someone who primarily uses a camera for video, I'm getting sick and tired of all these hybrid mirrorless cameras. It's like they're trying to be good at two things, and because of that, there's going to be compromises on both ends. The RED Komodo X isn't a photo camera, and it doesn't pretend to be one. Its primary use is video, and its layout and software features were designed with purpose, so it never feels convoluted to use. But let's go ahead and get back on track, because I think the reason why you clicked this video and wanted to watch it in the first place is the same thing that interests me the most, and that's the image quality. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I was not a fan of the original Komodo. I used it several times. In fact, a big portion of my Tesla Model Y review was shot with the original Komodo. The color science, to me, was not something that you would normally get from a RED camera. It's not that it was bad, it's just something that I wouldn't rave about. I mean, I can get like a similar image with just about any camera out there, aside from the amazing global shutter, which is obviously great for fast-moving scenes. Now, I've used the RED Raptor several times. In fact, last year I rented one for a really big project that I was contracted to do, and the image quality off of the Raptor is just superb. It's probably my favorite RED camera that I have ever used. Now, ironically, I've been using the RED Raptor a lot recently. In fact, my buddy Cam Mackey, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he has a YouTube channel, a lot of great content. I'll leave a link down below so you guys can go ahead and follow him. He recently asked me if I can camera operate on one of his commercial shoots. So I was using the RED Raptor. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is because we also had a RED Komodo X on set. Now, when we were done filming, I asked if I can grab the footage from both of these cameras. Now, to my surprise, when I was color grading, I was blown away at how close the RED Komodo X footage matched with the RED Raptor. Now this got me really excited because I was also working on a pretty big project with my buddy Aaron, who's a director DP, and we were gonna be filming a Porsche spec commercial using the RED Raptor. So knowing that we can also use a Komodo X allowed us to save a significant amount of money, especially in the car rigging scenes. Now you guys know when it comes to rigging up cameras, getting grip accessories, the first place I'm gonna go is to our friends over at Kondor Blue, which are also the sponsor of today's video. They just released their brand new RED Komodo X cage, and it's freaking sick. Now what's cool is their new design also works with the original Komodo, but they've made it better. For example, it has these rubber grommets on all of the mounting points, so it protects the camera from getting damaged. And this also makes the fitment around the camera like a glove. The rosettes are also located higher up, which means if you're using any side handle, it makes hand holding the camera much easier. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Kondor Blue has an upgrade program that allows you to trade in old cages for credit for a new one, which they also allow you to trade in competitor cages, which is freaking wild. So if you're looking to upgrade your camera, grab a few cables, accessories, or even some Mondo ties, make sure you visit our friends over at Kondor Blue. Like always, I'm gonna leave links to everything that we used on set down below in the description. So for our Porsche shoot, we used the RED Komodo X alongside the RED Raptor, and this made our workflow much easier, not because the image quality is almost the same, but because they share so many similarities. For example, they both use V-mount batteries, they both support DSMC3 accessories, they both share the same type of media, CF Express Type B, and they also both can record in Red Code RAW, which that in itself can be a whole separate video. The Komodo X being a much smaller and lighter camera made it so much easier to rig up that we ended up using it for a big portion of this project, and we never felt like we were sacrificing on quality. Now, what I'm about to say may ruffle a few people's feathers, but the Komodo X is basically a half-price Raptor, and in some cases even better because of its size, weight, and overall footprint. I've always felt the original Komodo was detuned. The frame rate options were mediocre at best, and I mean, like, even the Red Raven, which was released 8 years ago, had 4K 120. It just never made sense to me. Also, the image quality took some finagling to get it to match perfectly with the higher end RED cinema cameras, which is like the polar opposite of the RED Komodo X, which almost matches perfectly when you apply the same grade. And it's probably why you're seeing that higher increase in price compared to the original Komodo. Simply put, the RED Komodo X is the cheapest way to get the look of a high-end RED cinema camera without going bankrupt. Everyone is trying to get the best image quality possible out of their camera. And frankly, in 2023, all manufacturers offer a camera that can provide high image quality. So it really comes down to the features and the workflow that these manufacturers have set for these cameras. And it's interesting because I always see people buy a specific lower end camera brand because it matches with this higher end cinema camera. And that's the thing, the RED Komodo X doesn't pretend to be anything else. It's a RED camera, and because of that, you get all the perks and benefits of using a RED camera. And that's what you gotta really think about when you buy a camera system. If you're shoehorning something that really wasn't meant to be because you're trying to make it this expensive cinema camera, and now you're adapting your workflow and you're spending more time, think about how much your time is worth. If you value your time, let's say at $75 an hour, but if you would have bought the right camera to begin with, and let's say this camera will save you 3 hours on your workflow a week, that's $225 a week that you're saving. In a year, it's $11,700. That could have paid for the RED Komodo X in 1 year. And this is why I say, pay me now or pay me later. Because either way, you're gonna pay for it. Either you pay for it up front or you pay for it later, and it may end up costing you even more money. Now, I want to be clear because I don't want to send the wrong message. I'm not saying go and buy a RED Komodo X. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is go and buy the camera that will improve your workflow for the type of projects that you are working on. This camera is designed for the person or company that is doing real production and commercial work. Someone that is shooting films or wants to become a better filmmaker. If that's the category where you fall into, then from my experience, the Komodo X offers so much value for your money. The camera is just a tool. There are so many other moving parts and people that help craft a beautiful image. For example, the lenses that we use. These are the Atlas Mercury Anamorphic. You put these on basically any camera and immediately level up the production. The lighting, location, art department, crew, all have to work together to get the best image possible out of any camera. Having access to so many cameras, using them, I will say, there is something special that comes out of the RED Komodo X image that I really like and inspires me to go out and film something. My buddy Cam and I talk about this, and in fact, he just bought a RED Komodo X. So if you guys want to see his video and his take on it, I'll leave a link down below in the description. Make sure you guys give it a watch. I'm gonna be making more content on the RED Komodo X, including showing how easy the RED workflow is for color grading. So make sure you turn on notifications so you guys don't miss out on these future videos. My name is Armando. Thanks again for watching, and you will catch me in the next one. Adios.